I just watched the previous recorded video, and one thing immediately was notable to me, that the ProtoSOAR, after it disengaged from the booster and while I was recovering from the dive, I didn't notice at the time, but it went supersonic again in the dive. And while I was maneuvering, while I was attempting to recover from the dive and get into a more, manageable flight attitude, it was certainly controllable, and it demonstrated what I wanted to see, was in supersonic flight that it did have enough pitch control at the appropriate equivalent airspeed that I am confident that this little vehicle will be able to steer through a controlled re-entry without getting too hot. I'm happy about this. Okay, the project now, what I want to do is we actually want to put a rocket together to take this thing into orbit. And right now I'm thinking probably just we'll do an all liquid-fueled 3-stage design. Because this is standing in really as a scale model for the later manned versions, I think in my actual manned vehicles, I don't want to be using the solid rocket boosters. We'll just make this one all a liquid fuel design because I want that later one to be liquid fueled as well. So I need a total of 7,500 meters per second delta V, doing 3 stages. Let's put 1,500. Yeah, that seems like maybe we'll put 1,500 in this 3rd stage here. Where's a good one? How about this little Vesta? That's actually probably too much thrust. How about our stock little, the LV909? And liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, because I really like using those. And let's see, make this into a cryogenic tank and fill it with hydrogen and oxygen. There's 968 meters per second. Just needs to be a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll go aim for 1,500 with this. Thrust to weight ratio 4.08. 14. It's playing with me. You saw that? Right there. And always remove all tanks and put them back in. That resets everything. Okay. Yeah, we don't need a fraction of that. That much boost could get us into trouble even. Do I want to limit the thrust on this? Thrust limiter, cut it in half. Thrust weight ratio 2.05, that seems much more reasonable to me. Go ahead and give ourselves a procedural stack decoupler. And let me see, the next thing we need, our interstage fairing adapter, like so. Like that. Yeah, that works out very nicely. Okay, so there's our upper stage. Let me see. I've got 6,000 remaining, so what I want to put, probably 2,000 in the next stage, right? What kind of texture we want to put on this one? Let's try our redstone stripes. Oh, I got an idea. Maybe, because I bet you this one will be slightly smaller. Let's try this one. I really like this texture. I end up using it a lot. What kind of... Here, we'll stick our stock LTV 45 on there for now. This one will also be hydrogen and oxygen. Max the gimbal range. Turn that off. Okay, so what did I say? I want 2,000 in this one, so bump it all the way up to like 3,500. Oh, grief, that's already almost there, isn't it? I don't want my rocket to be all short and stubby. And look, okay, well, it's way too much engine for that. Maybe this Vesta? I'll try this one. See what this does for us. Yeah, like that. Oh, wow, that's already way too much. Pushing 4,000 meters per second. And I think we could get away with making this into a two-stage design if it's going to be like this. I really kind of don't want to, because I like having a small stage attached to this thing. Maybe we could make it a little bit bigger. 1,500. Let's give it a... let's see what happens when we make it larger. If we make it up to 2,000. Cryogenic. Remove all tanks. Put that back in there. Make it exactly to... Well, okay. That's about as close to exactly as is going to work. Let's try making it into a two-stage design. And I don't want this one to taper so much because I'm going to be adding wings and stuff to it. Which means I probably don't want this engine. I probably want, let's again, with our good old standard, LVT 45. And this time let's go kerosene, liquid oxygen. Max the tech level. Remove all tanks. Kerosene. Okay. Lengthen this thing. Okay, what's our degree for sea level thrust? 4.40 thrust to weight ratio. Okay, let's add a whole bunch. We want to take this up to 7,500 meters per second. We're already almost there. And our thrust to weight ratio is still too big. I was... Okay, maybe we can get away with a smaller engine. And this would be easy with two stages because this thing is so small. But then I haven't added the weight of the wings, which will probably be substantial. I'm using the wrong engine up here. That's what I'm doing. Wrong engine. Pull that off of there. We need to look at these little engines, like this guy, in order to make my vehicle long and pointy, and not short and squat like this. Sure, we'll just keep it like that. Let's see, yeah, let's go with 1,500 meters per second at delta V. Now, I think I actually want... Here, let's take this thing diameter down to 1.25 as minimum. And I want a second piece in here to be a cone. Yep. Like that. And then we'll do the same design of the same two textures that I had on my Atlatl series because I liked the way that worked. Stick it on there. 7,300 meters per second delta V, or sea level thrust, is almost where I want it to be. Of course, I haven't put any fuel in this thing yet. There's... Okay, yeah, okay, maybe this engine still isn't going to work. Take that off of there, and let's see, do we have any other, like a lighter weight choice? This thing's more powerful. Could we get away with this? Max thrust 50. No, 120. Okay, we'll go with this one. Sea level thrust 1.76, or we dropped some of that. Remove all tanks. Kerosene. Okay, now we're getting a lot closer to where I want to be. Oh, it struts all the way from back here, all the way up front. Like that, and also down here. It shouldn't be this easy to make something a two-stage. It just seems faintly wrong to me. Okay, now let's go ahead here and make ourselves some wings. I've got an idea of how I want to do this. I'm thinking that we'll have like a fairly large pair of wings, you know, delta wings, kind of the diamond shape that I found out in other designs works well, but I also want to have, this isn't all moving, is it? No, it isn't. Again, we'll stick with 1.25. We already found out that that works. But then I want for my control, we'll continue to doing kind of the X-Wing style. That's one of the way I think of it. We'll do like actually 4 matching control surfaces back here. Something like that. Yeah, I'm thinking something like that. Alright, I suppose I should have turned on center of lift, center of mass before doing that. Center of lift is still too far forward. How about that, huh? Actually, we want it to be right up there, pretty close to the center to start off with. Because remember how very quickly this thing is going to burn fuel. Some more control surfaces back here too. That may be a good idea. Because right now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about future changes that I'm going to do. Future use of the possibility of making this whole first stage into a reusable space plane. Yeah, I shouldn't focus on that too much right at the moment. This is enough. Okay, except we need more length on this fuel tank. In order, we need to get our total delta V up to up to 7,500. Again, with all the weight of those wings on there, you can see our total thrust to weight ratio shrinking. Sea level thrust. Maybe we want to take this off of there and actually go with the next larger, or go with our KW Rocketry Wildcat. Kerosene and oxygen. Okay, that looks kind of reasonable, which means we also want to remove the tank because it may have a different percentage. Okay. That's looking pretty reasonable. I think I like that. The thrust to weight ratio and the balance of everything. Let's make it a little bit longer because I want 7,500. Just make it exactly just because that makes me happy. Yeah, that looks nice. And again, remove the tank, put it back. Whoops, wrong one. Yeah. Okay. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Probably it'll need more lateral stability. Probably here's what I'll do with that. Take these guys. And actually move them closer up here. Oh, I like that. And then take these guys and actually move them. Oh, I like that. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. Just for curiosity's sake, what happens if we make this the root part? Good. And then we remove this out of the way. And take a look at our center of lift, center of mass, but that's when it's full of fuel. It's not going to be full of fuel. Center of mass is pretty much in the middle of that fuel tank, but the engine's all the way in back. Ooh, that's really close to being stable, isn't it? But whenever I make this into a reusable, it'll have the cockpit up here. Actually, I could put the cockpit just one cockpit, thank you. Actually, I could put that just any old place I like. Like that. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, okay, stop messing with it. Let's reload. No, oh, that's the wrong button. I wanted to load my saved before I started messing with that. Okay, last staging check. There we go. That lights. That separates, and lights. that separates. There's the parachute. Okay, let me see. Let's give ourselves a couple of launch stability enhancers, as I really like those. I like having my launch stability enhanced. Seems to be better than the alternative. Move that one up here. Good. Save it again. You don't include the cosine losses, thank you. Yeah. I think that's ready to go. Let's try launching it. Anything else I want to do? No, nothing coming to mind. SAS is on. Okay, again, I'm not doing the joystick on this, just with the keyboard. Let's go. Nice gentle takeoff at first. Burn a little bit of fuel, start gradually pitching back. Okay, there's 1.5 Gs of acceleration. Yep, it's being nicely controllable in pitch. Okay, that was kind of a dumb move, but still, it recovers. Yeah, nicely controllable launch configuration here. We're already supersonic. A little bit of wobbling happening there, but nothing scary. Pulling 2 Gs. I'm going to do my traditional limit this thing to 3 Gs of acceleration. Apoapsis up at 30 kilometers. Time to apoapsis is already over a minute, and I can afford to pitch back more. Okay, apoapsis 75 kilometers. Recall that in this rescaled version, our atmosphere extends up to 92, so that's what we're aiming for. It's actually, let's aim for like a circular 100-kilometer orbit. We're definitely high enough. We can pitch all the way back to horizontal. And keep gradually throttling back. Matter of fact, at this point, let's roll right side up. Again, we got off that line a little bit. Remember how little torque we have in that tiny little reaction wheel. It's just got the little 0.625 meter probe core. I took off the other reaction wheel. I think it looks pretty cool. Nicely controllable all through launch. So we're rapidly approaching getting out of the atmosphere. Actually pitch up just a little bit more at this point. Oh, throttle back as we exceed 3 Gs of acceleration. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to my apoapsis. Okay, first stage is exhausted. Let's just take a look what that whole orbit path looks like. So, yeah, for our first stage we'd be looking at going and aiming for a landing over there, right? Let's release that. Is this thing? Okay, yeah, that's almost totally gone. There those are. Throttle the stage up. Actually, pitch down a little bit. Let's keep that apoapsis under control. Okay. And we'll just try and maintain our orbital altitude here. Not really interested in climbing or descending. Actually, wait, okay. Yeah, I suppose I could have got rid of that FAR window a long time ago and pull up my delta V stats. Yeah, 174, so okay, so I'm not doing the most efficient burn ever. Maybe I should have given it 8,000 delta V. Anyway, it's tiny, a little bit more delta V than I gave it. But still, this is going to work just fine. Alright, cool. You can circularize that. I'll take it back. No, that's just about exactly the right amount of delta V. Okay. That part worked without a hitch. That is just about ideal. Exactly what I wanted to see. Still, I don't know. I kind of feel like just for form's sake, I might want to 3 stages to orbit. It's still too easy. But I suppose if I really wanted to go for like full realism like that, I could go with the 10 scale Kerbin system, where you really make the Kerbin Earth size. I suppose, yeah. I'll continue working the way it is. Okay. Okay. I believe this is, here, let's quick save it, a good stopping point. Everything has been successful so far. There's the sun, there's space, there's all the nebulae and everything up there. And we'll do another video, do an episode. We'll start working with this thing. Well, actually, first I'm going to circularize this orbit and try and get it to an even 100 kilometers. And then we're going to start experimenting with re-entry profiles, figuring out exactly when to burn retrograde and exactly how far exactly how long to burn retrograde, what kind of path we want to do relative to Kerbal Space Center in order to, the goal is to decelerate and go subsonic while still a few kilometers up above Kerbal Space Center, so I'll have room from there to, you know, to circle around and choose my landing. I don't necessarily want to slow down, like, you know, where I'm over the mountains and the only thing that I can do is land straight in. I want to still keep a few options open. But that's for next time. Yeah, this time there it is. It is in orbit. Works just fine. I need to set this up, huh? Okay, so I'll talk to you later and we'll do some re-entry stuff. Goodbye.